Hey Pair Pals, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at some action figures by Jakks Pacific based off of the Super Mario Brothers movie, so let's go! Alright, we're doing things a little different today, skip the unboxing part, and it's a good thing I did. They were all pretty tough to take out, honestly, of the little plastic shells. I was actually afraid I'd break something, but most of the accessories are like well made and flexible, but I'll get into that later. So we're going to take a look at Mario here first, and according to his box, he has about 16 points of articulation. The big feature for him and most of the figures is these kind of quote unquote realistic eyes we've got here. So as you can see, they kind of follow you around. It's just how they made them, so they kind of have that following you around effect. So that's pretty cool or creepy depending on your point of view, I suppose. And Mario himself is pretty accurate to his design in the movie. I'd prefer if the joints were a little more hidden, but for about a $20 figure, it's pretty well made. So let's go ahead and look at some details. So you can see like he does have like some stitching in his hat for his Mario symbol there. Some details in his mustache. The eyes though are really like I like how they made the eyes. Um, let's see his pants. So yeah, like they did a good job here, but like I was saying earlier, you can see kind of the joints there. But I mean, that's kind of how it is with figures. Like if you want articulation, you have to kind of sacrifice looks a little bit. But you're definitely getting some good details for your buck here. Let's take a look at the back. So yeah, and the paint's decent. The paint's not bad. I don't know what happened to Mario's cakes there. Sorry. So yeah, you can get some decent articulation going here. Put him in his classic Mario poses. Oh, and actually, because that happened, let's go ahead and mention they are pretty sturdy. I feel like they're not gonna break if you drop them. So if you get these for a kid, yeah, like, and most of these figures are made for kids, but yeah, he's pretty sturdy and doesn't really easily topple over either. So that's good. At least he can hold himself up. Let's go ahead and check out the articulation. So yeah, I'm not going to be checking the articulation for every single figure, or at least not all of them, but you see he does bend at the elbow, his wrist turns, gets some, yeah, that you can only just turn his head side to side, not really any other range of emotion there. He's got a knee joint, of course. I mean, come on, you've got to have that for Mario. He has to be able to jump and be in his running poses, and so there's a decent range of emotion here, and like I said, he does have 16 points, so that's good. All right. Enough fiddling around, and I'll show you here. So his plunger, let's take a look at his accessory. So his plunger is made out of kind of like a more flexible plastic, so that's good. I was afraid it was kind of gonna be like a more stiff kind of plastic, because I was afraid of breaking it when I was taking it out of the shell. But this one is very flexible, so it was easy to pop in and out, and he holds it decent enough, like it's not slipping out of his hand or anything. Let's go ahead and pop that in. All right, and there we go. Yeah, he's holding it. He's ready to unclog some toilets and do everything that a plumber's got to do. Or maybe just use it as an attack, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, he holds it pretty decently. It's not slipping out of his hand or anything. The only thing I would maybe worry about, as it slips a little bit out of his hand, you kind of gotta, yeah, position it probably like in the middle. Oh, okay, never mind. So it does kind of slip out of his hand a little. They just be aware of that. Wow. Okay, scratch that. Like, he was holding it decently earlier. I guess it just depends on where exactly he's holding it. But yeah, just I think over time this will possibly warp, but it's made decently enough. But overall, I'd say this one's pretty good. They did a good job. Has a likeness to the movie. Decent accessory. Of course, you know, I would have wished if he had a fireball, but maybe we'll get like a Fire Mario later. Or I could see them making like the different power-up Marios down the line. Maybe they'll do like a Wave 2 if the movie does well enough. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump to Luigi. All right, and here's Luigi. I wanted to put them side by side real quick so you can kind of see the size difference. And I'd say this is pretty accurate. Usually Luigi is about this much taller than Mario, and you can see he's a little more slender. And he has, let's move Mario a little bit out of the way. It's Luigi's time to shine, Mario, come on. So he has the same amount of articulation, 16 points. He has the same eye effect as well. So you see he's kind of wondering if I'm gonna do something sus. Like, Luigi's definitely the more scaredy cat of the brothers, so he's just like, oh please, like no more ghosts. And he comes with a little flashlight as his accessory here, and he holds it pretty well. This one does not fall out of his hands, I will say, though. You kind of have to wedge it in there, unlike Mario's, which kind of just like slips right in. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So yeah, the eyes are painted really well, and like I said, he has that follow effect. I'm just noticing this, but I don't know if it's like this in the movie, but why is his nose kind of a different color? Huh. Yeah, I didn't notice that before. Yeah, it's two different paints. I don't know if that's how they look in the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, and I didn't really notice it in the trailers, but that's a bit strange. Just something to keep in mind. Mustache is painted pretty well. Hair's sculpted pretty well. You can kind of see the details sculpted in as well. The hats I'm happy with. The hats look really good. And there you go, the L stitched in. It's also got his overall details. So Mario and Luigi have pretty much the same amount of details and just like slightly different paint colors, especially in the blue. Luigi has a darker blue. I think he's got some bigger cakes too. Boots, we didn't take a look at Mario's boots, but let's take a look at Luigi's. Decent. And then got the shoelaces there. They did make the denim look pretty, like, you know, like more realistic, more of a realistic look, which is what the movie's going for as well, aesthetic wise, so that's good. And he does have a swivel there. So yeah, all in all, I'm happy with these two. I don't really have any complaints, especially for the price point. Like, you can get them at about $20. I think they're a little cheaper at Target right now. If you want to pick them up there, I think you can get them for maybe $14.99 or so. So yeah, there you go. There's Luigi. Let's go ahead and jump over to the next one. All right, sorry Mario, move over. All right, so here's another little size comparison. As you can see, Peach is probably the tallest of the four main characters, and I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, like maybe her crown just like inches her a little taller than Luigi, so she's about like 6.5 or so, maybe a little less. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at Peach and her details. So let's see, she's got her little umbrella as her accessory. Okay, so this one, luckily it doesn't slip out of her hand easily because of the, I'll show you guys here, the little heart at the top here. Peach, let it go, please. Okay. This one is a bit more, like, this part here is flexible, maybe not as flexible as Mario's plunger, But this was what worried me, was the umbrella's pretty stiff, so you just got to be a little careful there. Like, I don't think it'll break easily, but at the same time, you don't want to take your chances. So there's her parasol. I'll fold it up though. And let's go ahead and take a closer look. So she definitely doesn't have as much articulation, and I'll show you guys why in just a sec. So she has the eye effect as well. I feel like on her though, maybe it's not as strong of an effect. Like, you can still see the eyes kind of follow you around, but I feel like it doesn't happen as obviously as with Mario and Luigi. They did a good job on the hair sculpt here. The hair looks really good. I like what they did here. She has a nice shine on her. Crown looks good. I mean, if you're a princess, your crown better be on point, you know. Maybe the jewels could have been painted a little better. Lipstick looks good. Got her earrings. I can kind of see a little bit of some paint mishap there. It's not a big deal. Of course, like, these are kind of like cheaper figures, you know, so it's not going to be perfect. Yeah, so she's at about 8 points of articulation, which makes sense because, as you'll see, she has no legs. She's all feet. And you can't even move her feet. So pretty much her lower body has no articulation except for her waist moving like this. So that's kind of a bummer. But I mean, yeah, I don't see what else they probably could have done. They could have given her legs and could have made this more hollow, but you get what you pay for, you know. And she looks good. I'm not mad. She stands well because of that, so she's the one most likely to not topple over out of everybody. So, and then you can see her brooch there. The paint on that is actually done pretty well. And the dress, I will say, especially these kind of darker pink parts, they did a really good job there. Yeah, all in all, not bad. I do wish this part didn't feel so dang like hollow, but that's more of a nitpick. Alright, and here we've got Toad next to Mario and Peach. So as you can see, he's even shorter than Mario, so he's probably standing at about 4 inches himself. So they did a pretty good job with this Toad figure. He has 9 points of articulation, so 1 more than Peach. I just have one issue, and that's the fact that he can't stand on his own, like very well at all. So as you can see, I have him leaning forward a bit because that's the only way I could actually get him to stand. Otherwise, he will, yeah, his backpack will weigh him down. This backpack piece here is very, very heavy, like, in compare, because his head is hollow. It feels very, very hollow. So I don't know why they decided to make this backpack so dang heavy, but it definitely weighs him back, and he just can't. Yeah, he like rests on his backpack, which I can see Toad doing. Like, at least he has good leg articulation, so you can actually have him sitting down, so it's not a huge deal or anything. And then he comes with this frying pan accessory there, and he holds it pretty well. He's not dropping it like Mario was, so it's pretty, like, once you get it in there, it's pretty set in there, and it shouldn't be too hard to take it out. So as I was mentioning, he does have pretty decent leg articulation. I was afraid he actually wasn't going to, because it doesn't look like he would, but yeah, you can at least get him to sit down. So the details here on the backpack, since we were looking at it already, very reminiscent of Captain Toad. You can see a pickaxe, some rope, very heavy backpack indeed. They did a pretty decent, pretty clean, like, job with the paint. You know, it's not like anything shaded or anything. So funny enough, on the packaging it still says for Toad that he has realistic eyes, and I'm just like, where? Like, his eyes still have kind of that glossy effect, so maybe that's what they mean. but he's definitely not following you around. He's just like living in his own little toad world, and he seems very content about it. Like I said, his headpiece here is pretty hollow, so it definitely would have been nice if they would have balanced the weight around. Like the weight is all in this pack here. Um, yeah, other than that, you can see, you know, the buckles on his strap. The paint there on his vest. There's actually not really any stitching, kind of like Mario's denim did, or Luigi's denim as well. Looks like most of the details on the backpack. Yeah, I mean, they did a good job on this backpack. It looks really good. It's just like, yeah, they should have thought about that a little more. So yeah, either just like have him leaning forward or just have him in a sitting pose. And yeah, see, I don't know, he just looks a little weird to me leaning forward like that. So I'll probably just have him in a little sitting pose, just be like, hello. All right, and last but not least, we've got the King of Koopas himself. We've got Bowser. So Bowser here is towering pretty much over all the other characters, as you can see. And he actually will run you almost double their price. So he's about $40, give or take, about maybe 35. But I'd say he's definitely worth it. Let's go ahead and move Peach aside here. So let's take a closer look. Okay, and he's big and chunky, so excuse me for a sec. All right, so paint's done pretty well. I just kind of wish they used different paints a little bit, maybe, because they look a little flat, you know. But I mean, you know, it's not like high quality or anything, so. But they did do a really good job on the shading here. The green shading you kind of see on his skin, that's kind of closer to his shell, and he does have that in the movie, so it's nice that they have that throughout. So let's see. Yeah, he's got good articulation. He can do his classic Bowser pose there. The shell here, I wish I don't know if it's like that in the movie, but yeah, I kind of wish these weren't flat. It's just paint here. The spikes are sculpted, of course, but this is just paint. But perhaps it's because I'll show you guys in a second why that could be, but let's go ahead and keep taking a look. You've got some spikes on all his collars and his wrist. Though I did notice, which is a little weird, some of the spikes on his wrists, like look, this one's not even protruding. I don't know if they were like, oh, you know, it doesn't matter about the bottom one. Like no one's gonna be seeing that as much, but you kind of see it there too a little bit. Like some of these are just like, look at these on his biceps and on his collar. They're complete spikes, you know, and then some of these little teeny weeny ones over here on his wrists, I'm just like, why? Did they get lazy or what? And yeah, he's big and hulking. He has no problem standing. It's mostly because of his tail. His tail's gonna keep him standing up pretty well. The hair sculpt is done really well. I'm really happy with that. You guys can see like a little dent there. I'll show you what that, or not a dent, like a little line there. I'll show you what that's about in just a sec. All right, so he has 14 points of articulation, not bad, but he does have some extra features as well that I'll show you in just a sec. Well, actually one extra feature. So that could also add to his price point here. So his shell's very rubbery, and you'll see why in just a sec. So you can just actually pop this right off. There we go. And you can insert some batteries here. It did not come with batteries. You're gonna have to find 3 AAA batteries. It has an off and on switch, so let's go ahead and put him on. As you can see, he has an LED light right there in his mouth, but that's not completely all, so I'll show you in just a sec here. Let's pop his shell back on, and I'll actually show you guys what you can do here. All right, once you have your batteries in, make sure you have these switched on his back to the on position, then pop his shell back on, and then the next step you want to do is this little piece of the hair you can pull back. And Excuse me, it's a little hard to do this one-handed. Okay, so there's this little spout that you can pour water into. You don't want to pour too much because you don't need that much. So just a little bit goes a long way. And pop his hair back in. Thank you. There you go, Daddy Bowser. So let's see how this looks. It's supposed to have like kind of this fire flame effect to it. So there's actually yes, so there's a spike. This spike here in particular is pretty much the on-off switch to control that. So let's go ahead and give it a look. Let me not cover up the camera. Oh, come on. Again, hard to do this one-handed. One sec. There we go. Okay, cool. I think you guys can see the... Oh, he stopped. Yeah, let's try that again. Okay, cool. And you can... yeah. I hope you guys can see the smoke effect there pretty well. Let me turn off the lights for a second and see how that helps. Okay, let's see if that helps. Okay, that's pretty cool. I think there's different settings too, I'm not sure. Because at some point I felt like I couldn't get him to stop doing it. Okay, so as you can see, it's probably not, he probably ran out of water. It's not as strong of an effect anymore. Yeah, he's out, but that's pretty cool. And then I think to turn it off, you just hold it down for a bit. Yeah, okay, that seems to be the way to turn it off. Yeah, so he needs a little more water, but I didn't even pour that much into it, so that's pretty good. His chin does get a little wet afterwards, so just, you know, kind of help him out with the drool and all that. And it doesn't seem too messy. Like, I didn't really get any water everywhere, so that's good. All right, got the lights back on. So honestly, that smoke effect was better than I thought it was gonna look. You know, the LED light doesn't look bad either. As you can see, you can kind of notice it and just naturally playing around with them. And oh, okay, the light's just turning on now. So let's just take a quick look at his articulation. So got some wrist movement there, elbow joint. Yeah, so you can get a pretty good range of emotion from him. Like, he's just like, what's going on here? I will say this is maybe a little weird. Like, they kind of already have him sculpted into a certain pose, and you can't really change that. I wonder why they did that, but it's not a huge deal or anything. The flame effect really does, you know, take this to another level, though. I really like what they did there. Sorry, there's a little water on him. He's in a little dribbly kind of mood. All right, let's go ahead and get you guys all posed back together. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this line, honestly. They did a really good job, especially with Bowser. Bowser was definitely my favorite of the bunch. I will say though, maybe for the other four, depending on how much you like each character or not, don't pay the full $20 price. If you can get them for about $14, then I'd say go for it. But for $20, I think maybe you're overpaying a little too much. Definitely, I'd say Mario was maybe the weakest of the bunch, then followed by like Toad, and then Luigi, and then I think Peach is maybe, it's between Peach or Luigi being the strongest of the two, honestly, I think. But definitely Mario felt a little more lacking. He kind of drops his plunger sometimes too, so that's not great. But yeah, for the price point, it's not bad. Just if you can get them at 14, especially if you want to get all of them, then I'd say so. But Bowser's definitely worth the purchase. The extra amount you have to pay for him. I definitely like the smoke effect. That's pretty cool. I wish I had toys like that when I was a kid, you know what I mean? Especially Mario toys. And the fact that we're just getting another Mario movie, and, you know, it looks like they're doing it right this time, and it pays homage to the video games. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe for more content. And let me know down in the comments if you're going to go see the Mario movie, or if you're going to be picking up any of these figures, or if you already did pick up any of them, and which ones you picked up, and which one's your favorite of the bunch. Gonna go ahead and end the video here, you guys. Hope you all have a fabulous day, and hope you all enjoy the Mario movie. Bye, everybody.